I've been watching videos on YouTube for some time now, and more often than not, I find myself more interested in actual social commentary and science than I am with prairie dogs and banana phone. Although I still enjoy vacuous comedy, what I watch steadily are news clips, statements of belief, scientific essays, and video blogs. Real people talking about real events and situations that affect other real people's lives. This is where I come in. I don't want a video blog because, quite frankly, my day-to-day life just isn't interesting enough. Who wants to hear, "Today I woke up, went to work, caught a few poisonous snakes, swung around a metal detector, got angry at fallen tree limbs for being exactly where I need to go, picked up random hunks of metal, went home, got on the internet, etc., etc., and so forth." Which is pretty much what my day is usually like. The job I'm working for keeps me busy most of the time, and happens to be in a place nowhere near my friends and family. Consequently, it's more dull than Rosamund ever was. At least there I had neighbors. There are already enough channels out there showing news clips. I highly recommend the users votersthink.org and cspanjunkie.org, who have a staggering amount of news clips updated at least a few times a week. So myself doing it is rather pointless, and as I won't have time to update nearly enough to make it worth anyone's while, it's also fairly unimaginative. Additionally, while I do understand a fair amount about a few scientific fields, I am by no means an expert, and thus I cannot stand out in contrast to the scathing wit and genetic mastery of Thunderfoot, or the unrelenting engine of biological knowledge that is Aaron Ra. Incidentally, I would also like to mention another user at this point, the user Rabid Ape. He hasn't told me anything I don't already know, but he phrases his statements in such a way that it has allowed me new understanding of information I already had. This is exactly what I would like to achieve. I don't necessarily want to dispense new information, although that's always nice. I want to facilitate understanding. So, if I only have a fundamental grasp of science, am not interesting enough to blog about, and cannot contribute anything new to the outstanding news channels already in place on YouTube, what can I do? I thought long and hard about this and came to the conclusion that what I can do is draw attention to things. There are some questions that should be asked about a variety of different subjects, ranging from ethical issues to economics. Thus, in the vein of AZ Superman's Tough Questions for Creationists, I present Tough Questions for the Nation. Often these questions will be directed at the actions of the government, but it should be noted that the government, for good or ill, is an extension of the people. We elect these officials, so we must also consider the same issues they do. I suppose I should also preface this with a disclaimer. I will try to be fair when I offer criticism. However, I freely admit that I have preconceptions about some of the questions that will be offered. To paraphrase Penn Jillette, I'm biased as all fuck, but I will try to be honest. It should also be noted that not all these questions have right answers, and not all these questions suggest that the subjects of these questions are necessarily bad or wrong. My goal here is not to preach, not to bludgeon you into a certain way of thought, but to make you think about things you probably already know in entirely new ways. Finally, I'll probably quote some people during the course of these videos, and probably reference a number of other users here on YouTube. I do this in order to illustrate points, and to direct you to things that will make you think. It doesn't always mean I agree with them. I'll try to make it clear when I support a person's point of view, and when I do not. Okay, enough. I've blathered on for some time, and I think I've gotten my point across. Hopefully I'll be able to update on a semi-regular basis, and hopefully I'll make someone think.